The violent storm arrived without warning, covering the small town in darkness as Daniel Carter locked his old shop and prepared to face another difficult night alone. Daniel had spent years running his tiny grocery store, struggling with rising costs, but he always believed a kind heart was worth more than a wealthy life. As heavy rain poured through the empty streets, Daniel noticed a stranger standing outside his shop, completely soaked and quietly searching for shelter. The stranger looked exhausted and lost, but Daniel did not hesitate because he knew leaving someone outside during such a storm was not the right thing to do. Daniel opened the shop door and said, "Come inside. This weather is dangerous, and you can rest here until the storm becomes calmer." The mysterious man entered slowly, surprised that a poor shopkeeper offered help without asking his name, money, or any explanation. Inside the small store, Alexander Whitmore sat near the counter while Daniel prepared a warm drink, using the few supplies he had available. Alexander looked around the simple shop and noticed something rare, a peaceful atmosphere created by a man who owned very little but cared deeply. During their conversation, Daniel shared his struggles but never complained, showing gratitude for the small things life had given him. As the storm continued outside, Alexander quietly watched Daniel and wondered how a man with so little could show so much compassion. Alexander spent the night inside Daniel's small shop, listening carefully as the humble owner described his dreams of keeping the business alive despite many challenges and financial struggles. Daniel never realized the stranger sitting across from him was a powerful businessman known across the country because Alexander chose to hide his identity and experience a normal human connection. The two men continued talking while rain covered the windows, and Alexander discovered that Daniel valued honesty, respect, and kindness above personal success or material possessions. Daniel offered his own limited food to his guest and refused to accept anything in return, saying that helping someone was simply the right thing to do during a difficult night. Alexander quietly asked why Daniel helped a complete stranger, and the shopkeeper replied that every person deserves kindness during their hardest moments, regardless of their background. The answer surprised Alexander because he had met many people who wanted his wealth, but very few who cared about him without knowing his powerful position and kindness. Throughout the night, Daniel repaired old shelves and organized products, while Alexander watched the dedication behind the small, struggling shop that carried his hopes and dreams. Before sunrise arrived, Alexander thanked Daniel for his generosity, but he still kept the truth about his powerful background completely hidden from the honest shopkeeper. Daniel believed the night was just another difficult moment in life, unaware that his simple act of kindness had created an unforgettable change waiting beyond the morning. As the storm finally disappeared, Alexander looked toward the quiet street and made a decision that would transform Daniel's future forever in ways he could never imagine. The next morning, Daniel opened his shop early, expecting another ordinary day of selling groceries and handling the struggles that had become part of his daily routine. As sunlight replaced the dark storm clouds, Daniel noticed several black luxury SUVs slowly arriving near his small shop, creating an unusual scene on the quiet street. Confused neighbors watched from a distance as a professionally dressed man stepped out of the vehicle and walked directly toward Daniel's store entrance. The man introduced himself as Marcus Reed and calmly asked Daniel if he had seen the gentleman who stayed inside the shop during the terrible storm. Daniel immediately recognized the description and pointed toward the place where Alexander had rested, wondering why such an important-looking person was searching for him. Marcus smiled and said, "The man you helped last night is not an ordinary traveler, and everyone outside has been waiting for his return." Daniel looked toward the vehicles in disbelief as Alexander stepped forward, wearing an elegant coat, revealing a completely different side of himself. Alexander thanked Daniel again and explained that he was a successful businessman who had never forgotten the kindness shown to him during his most difficult moments. Daniel felt surprised because he had never expected any reward, recognition, or attention for simply helping another person who needed shelter. Alexander told Daniel that his actions proved something valuable, because true character appears when people help others without expecting anything in return. The small shop that witnessed a simple act of kindness was now standing at the center of a powerful revelation that would change Daniel's entire future. Alexander entered Daniel's small shop again, but this time the entire atmosphere felt different because the hidden truth about his identity was finally revealed. Daniel struggled to believe that the quiet stranger from the stormy night was actually Alexander Whitmore, one of the most successful businessmen in the country. Alexander explained that his wealth had brought him many opportunities, but genuine kindness had become something rare that he deeply appreciated. Marcus stood nearby as Alexander told Daniel that his compassion during the storm showed more value than any expensive possession he had ever purchased. Daniel politely thanked him, but said he never helped because he expected a reward, proving that his actions came from a sincere place. Alexander smiled because those words confirmed exactly why he respected Daniel more than many powerful people he had met throughout his career. He offered to support Daniel's struggling shop, not as charity, but as a partnership with someone who deserved a better opportunity. Daniel hesitated at first, worried that accepting help might remove the meaning behind the hard work he had built over many years. Alexander assured him that accepting support was not weakness, because even the strongest people sometimes need someone to believe in them. As the black SUVs waited outside, Daniel realized that one simple decision during a storm had opened the door to a completely unexpected chapter of his life. Weeks later, Daniel's small shop transformed into a successful community store, but he continued treating every customer with the same respect and kindness as before. Alexander often visited Daniel not as a powerful businessman, but as a true friend who valued the honesty and compassion he discovered during that unforgettable storm. Marcus watched their friendship grow and realized that the greatest connections in life are created through trust, sincerity, and moments of unexpected kindness. Daniel never forgot the night when a stranger entered his shop with nothing but a difficult situation and left behind a lesson that changed his entire future. Alexander continued supporting people who showed genuine humanity, inspired by the simple generosity he experienced inside Daniel's small shop during the storm. The once struggling shopkeeper became an example in the town, proving that even the smallest act of kindness can create a powerful and lasting impact. Years later, Daniel still remembered that stormy night because it showed him that good actions can return in ways nobody can predict or imagine. The world may measure people by wealth and success, but true greatness comes from a heart that helps others when there is nothing to gain. The greatest reward in life is not the money we collect, but the kindness we share when nobody is watching, because compassion can change lives forever. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts about how one act of kindness can change someone's destiny.